But without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and jump into this. This video I was talking about. Like I said, this is a video by KoryxKenshin. This came out on the 24th, so literally like what 6 days ago. And whenever it first dropped, it was #1 on trending. I remember when it first dropped, it was #1 on trending. And it's currently sitting at like literally 7 million views. And KoryxKenshin is a 14 million subscriber YouTube channel. So he's a massive YouTube channel. And this video, from what I've seen or what I've seen on Twitter and stuff, by the way, follow me on Twitter at Kyng Copium. I got it down there for you guys. I just got my Twitter back for like my Twitch and stuff like that, because for some reason when I first made it, because I have 2 Twitters, right? I have a Twitter for my DJing stuff, and I have a Twitter for my streaming stuff, right? I just want to keep those separate because I don't want to spam like on my DJ account about my streaming stuff, even though I'm the same person. But yeah, I just made a completely separate account for my Twitch streams and stuff like that. So if you guys do enjoy my content, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter at Kyng Copium as well. Trying to make a streamline for you guys. But yeah, I've seen some things talking about this on Twitter and whatnot, and this video is essentially talking about favoritism and racism on YouTube. And then later on, I want to watch the Gideon video about Twitch. Which is kind of crazy because there's a ban that recently happened, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But first of all, let's just go ahead and dive into this video right now about KoryxKenshin. I've seen things on TikTok, I've heard what it's about, but I want to dive into it myself, analyze the video, and kind of think about it because, you know, as I'm growing on Twitch, as I'm growing on YouTube and stuff like that, these are definitely things that I should have in the forefront of my mind if giant YouTube pioneers and trailblazers like KoryxKenshin are speaking on them. So let's check this video out.
I'm going to try my best to articulate this video as thoroughly, as plainly, as eloquently as possible. I don't want there.
When everybody starts, okay, so I'm just going to give you a little tip, because I know as a black man, if I ever start a sentence saying that I want to explain something as eloquently and as well thought out as possible, I'm fucking mad. I'm pissed because my brain is going like at 1 billion miles an hour already. And I know I have to like stop myself and slow down before I just turns into me cussing somebody out. So already going into this video, we can tell Cory is upsetty spaghetti, but let's check it out.
There to be any lost context. I don't want to just look like I'm coming out of nowhere having a temper tantrum because these things are happening. The allegations I am levying towards YouTube are extremely serious, and I'm taking this video extremely seriously.
Yeah.
YouTube, you guys either play favorites, you are racist,
damn,
or it's a mix of the two.
Both, yeah.
These are the 3 options, YouTube. Which one is it? Here's my proof. I've been doing YouTube a long time, okay? I never want to be that guy, oh, it's because I'm black. Oh, these issues are happening because I'm black.
One thing I will say, though, is that favoritism and, like, low-key kind of racism, which, honestly, it's like favoritism and racism aren't that far off, right? Because favoritism is just, like, a more like, racism is just, like, a more specified favoritism, right? So it's, like, a large, or I guess, like, a wider form of favoritism, because it's like a certain group of people that you prefer over other groups of people, you know what I mean? Or you look lesser at certain groups of people, so in retrospect you prefer other groups of like people over other groups of people, you know? So like favoritism is like one of those isms that can be good or it can be extremely negative, unlike racism, which is just a negative ism, period, you know what I'm saying? But and also definitely favoritism on YouTube is definitely not a new thing. It's definitely not a new thing. And I know that I have a Charlie video that I have queued up that we're going to watch after this video as well. And I haven't watched it.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Hey, yo.
Swag Messiah.
Swag Messiah. Tell on word. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thanks for following the stream. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're watching this KoryxKenshin video about favoritism and racism on YouTube. But like I was saying is that favoritism in YouTube is not a new thing at all. It is not a new thing at all. This is definitely an issue. Now, like I said, the Charlie video that I have queued up, I haven't watched just yet. But I remember a couple years back whenever Charlie faced some favoritism during whenever he had the mascot video, like the mascots who like stopped the car and like beat up the guy like on the street. I don't know if you guys remember that, but Charlie got that video completely age restricted, and then Markiplier released the same video and like didn't get any restrictions on it at all. And I know a lot about content creation, and that's why one thing is like now, you know, me being more serious about being a content creator on YouTube, being a content creator on Twitch, I'm excited to implement. But I do understand just from like people that I watch on YouTube and other creators that once a video gets age restricted, that thing is dead in the water. You know what I mean? It really is dead in the water. Like, or at least it would never get the amount of views that it could. Like, you know what I mean? So for them to age restrict Charlie's video, completely destroyed that video's revenue and everything on the video. But in order for them to show that they were not like favorites or whatever, though the move that YouTube made was by age restricting Markipliers. When honestly, if that was the case, it shouldn't have been age restricted to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm getting ahead of myself because obviously this is a topic that is going to affect me more and more as I create more content for YouTube, for Twitch, for streaming or whatever. It's definitely a issue that's going to affect me more and more. But like I said, we'll get into it.
There have been certain situations that I looked at kind of funny. I said, it could be because of that, but nah, I ain't gonna. I'm not trying to press that. I don't want to build that narrative around my YouTube channel. This time, I can no longer let it slide.
And high key, I will say this. That is another thing about being black in like the internet space, right? So like I've been on the internet for a very, very long time. You know what I mean? I've been on the internet for a very, very long time. Like I was here for Newgrounds. I was here for like all the young stuff on the internet, you know? And as like a black person online, during the early days of being online, literally people used to just tell you like, oh yeah, people online are just mean. And by mean, they meant fucking racist. You know what I mean? Like they used to just tell you, oh yeah, people online are they're just mean. Like that's just how the internet is. Like get over it. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, nah, bro. Like how about y'all change? Because no, like why would we want to have like an amazing space like the internet be filled with like such horrible ideas? You know what I mean? And so like him saying like, oh, I didn't want to be that person to be like, oh, it's because I'm black, it's because I'm black. That's another thing about racism is that like, as an African American, like online, you do think about that. You think about that not just online, but like in a lot of places in your life, right? It's like we know whenever someone's being racist. Like we know when someone's being racist. But the way the society is built right now, we even question ourselves on like, oh, yo, was that actually racist? Or am I just tripping? You know what I'm saying? Was that actually racist? Or am I just overthinking, you know? And that's like an issue right now in itself. Because you're having black people question themselves on things that shouldn't be questioned. You know what I mean? And that is what also leads to black people speaking up less about issues like that. Is them having to question themselves and second thinking themselves, because we don't want to ever hear, because a lot of people will say, oh, they're just playing the victim card, oh, they're just playing the slavery card. Like
situation. August 18th, I uploaded the Mortuary Assistant. A lot of you would know it got age restricted because the following video I did, I let you guys know it got age restricted. YouTube didn't tell me why. I saw that all these other YouTubers were playing the Mortuary Assistant and only my video seemed to be age restricted. And I looked for like an hour, 2 hours. I was scrolling all different types of people's video. No one else's was age restricted. So I appealed the restriction. Hey guys, I'm not sure why mine got age restricted. Could you look into this? Appeal rejected. They doubled down. The policy team said, no, Corey, your video is restricted for good reason. We're not going to tell you why, but it's restricted. That's our final decision. I said, okay. I get with my YouTube rep. I sent him an email. Hey, could you look at this? This is some weird stuff going on. Only my video got age restricted. My YouTube rep, who isn't on the policy team, he looked at my video and he said, hey, it could possibly be this part at the end where the woman was battling some depression, and I'm just gonna leave it there, lest this video also get age restricted just because I'm talking about it. So I looked at that part. The first thing I did was try to find other YouTubers who had that part, or at least a part similar. Now, Markiplier, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I just want you to know I have a lot of respect for you, and I didn't mean to drag you into the middle of this.
Oh,
your channel just happens to be a great reference point because A, you're a really big YouTuber, and B, you're not black. So I can look at your channel, and then I can look at my channel or look at anyone else's channel and make sure that the things and the games that you play, that they're enforcing the rules equally to everybody. So I go to Markiplier's Mortuary Assistant Part 3, and he had the same situation going on, and his video wasn't age restricted.
And it's crazy too, because it's like KoryxKenshin, like I said before, is a huge YouTuber, which means he has not only the platform on Twitter to cry about it, because most of the time it seems like whenever creators face issues like this, the only thing they can do is go on Twitter and cry about it and hope that the YouTube response team sees it. But like for smaller YouTubers, like say for me, right, if I had something like an issue like this, I don't have the following on Twitter right now, and I definitely don't have like a partner manager, because bigger YouTubers have partner managers, and KoryxKenshin has both of those things, right? And he's still having to deal with these issues from the YouTube policy team.
I send the video to my YouTube rep. I say, hey, Markiplier has this situation in his video, but his isn't age restricted.
Yeah.
Could you send that to the policy team and see what they say about that? He said, wow, Cory, that's some astute detective work. Let me send this to them and see what they say. What do you think happened after that? I'll give you a second.
Probably, I'm going to go ahead and guess that the same thing that they did with Charlie is what they did with Markiplier. They didn't fix his video. They just age restricted Markiplier's video, which is definitely not the fucking move.
They came back and they removed my age restriction.
Oh, snap. Okay, so I definitely thought that they were just going to age restrict Markiplier's video, because like I was talking about before with the video with Charlie and like the mascots, like, you know, jumping that guy, they kind of did the opposite of this. They just went, instead of removing Charlie's age restriction, went to Markiplier's video and fucking age restricted his video.
They took it off after they already rejected my appeal.
That is crazy too. He literally appealed and they rejected it. So like, not only did they age restrict it, but he told them they were wrong. They looked at it again and told him he was wrong. And then the minute that he showed them their inconsistency is whenever they fixed it. God damn.
I sent them the clip of Markiplier's video that has the same thing, and they removed it. Now my YouTube rep, he was excited. He was, oh great, this is awesome. Look, Cory, they took the age restriction off.
Nah, bro.
I said, why?
Yeah.
I expected them to triple down and give Markiplier an age restriction too. But they looked at Mark's video and they used that to verify my innocence.
Literally.
So I send my YouTube rep a lengthy email detailing.
Damn. Okay. This is actually pretty damning for them, and I'm inclined to believe racism and or favoritism plays a part in this. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the situation. YouTube reverses the decision they doubled down on yesterday after being presented with the Markiplier clip. I'm actually more surprised they reversed it rather than tripling down and just age restricting him too. Exactly like we were speaking on before, like they did with Charlie's video. This actually speaks volumes more. All the momentum of my first video has been void for nothing now. Exactly like we were speaking on earlier. When a video is age restricted when it's first released, all of the possibility of a hit is suggested and like being pushed on the algorithm is destroyed. Before I drop an expo video tomorrow with the evidence that has been presented with me, I'm hoping for some clarity that might make sense in a way to dissuade me from getting ready to stir up this pot further. Can you inquire why they changed their mind and who made the decision to reinforce the age restriction yesterday, as well as their reasoning for doing so? Also, why these incidents always I don't know. I'm horrible at reading. Sorry. I have trouble reading sometimes. Coincide with me trending #1 multiple days in a row. I felt treatment towards me from YouTube, especially when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row and multiple occasions, has been negative, and that my content is subdued heavily. Than a counterpart like Markiplier's. And also, it's actually kind of funny because this video that he made on YouTube, this video that he made talking about YouTube's racism and favoritism, actually hit #1 on trending on YouTube. He then says, I felt treatment towards me from YouTube, especially heavier than the Koryx. This case proves exactly that. This case exactly that. Actually, why wasn't his video monitored the moment he released it to check if it violated self-harm guidelines? I've had a my content gets targeted, suppressed, and YouTube will make any attempt they can to kill the channel momentum. And this case, more than anything, this has happened so far, proves that. While I would hope race would not have nothing to do with it, how can it be proven 100% that it doesn't? That's true.
My feelings about the entire situation, feeling like there was some favoritism at play, there was either that or some racism at play, and that I would like to sit down with the policy team and figure out why my video was flagged in the first place. Actually, number one, was it automated or was it a human
review
that age restricted in the first?
And I'm pretty sure that fucking if you get an automated restriction, I think they do like a human review afterwards, if I'm not mistaken. Like they'll do like an automated, like if you get hit by an automated like review, whenever you debate it, I'm pretty sure a human reviewer looks at it, or at least that's how it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? And I would hope that's how it goes for especially at least larger content creators.
First place. Number two, who was the human reviewer? Because it's a human reviewer once you submit an appeal.
Okay,
who was the human reviewer that doubled down and rejected my appeal? Number three, why did it take Markiplier's clip in order for them to reverse the decision? My YouTube rep gets back with me. He wants to hop on a call. We get on the phone for about 10-15 minutes, and I tell him, I've been feeling like this for a long time. I've been feeling like every single time that I come back to YouTube, I'm #1 trending for a few days, and then they find some arbitrary issue. They nitpick and they try and find something that they can incriminate me for and try to push me down. You don't believe me? What happened the last time I came back and I was #1 trending for like a week? They copyright struck me for a video that was in 2019 or something like that.
Damn.
Why don't these issues...
Okay, see, that's another thing as well. So, like, I have, like I told you guys before, I have 2 Twitters. One's for my DJing and one's for my Twitch stuff, right? And whenever I first created my Twitch, Twitter, like my Twitter for my Twitch, I followed, like, all my favorite streamers and stuff like that, like I was supposed to. That way it would fix my algorithm so I could tweet about stuff like on my Twitch Twitter, because that's what I want that Twitter for. I want that Twitter so I can talk about, you know, fucking Twitch drama. I want that Twitter so I can talk about, you know, shit that's just going on in the space, right? That account actually ended up getting locked for like 20, I think it was like literally a month, at least 2 months that account was locked. And literally all I did was just like follow people, and it wasn't like I was mass following. I was literally using the feature on Twitter that says like follow related accounts, you know what I'm saying? And I guess that Twitter, even though I was using their feature and not even like personally, I can see like personally going and following everybody, like clicking on everybody, just go like down the list, because that's what a lot of bots do, and I can see that trigger like a bot effect. But I'm literally using an effect, like I'm literally using a tool on the website or on the app itself, and my account gets locked for that. And to tell you the truth, I'm not even sure if that's the reason why my account got locked, but the account was locked for literally 2 months and I couldn't use it, you know what I mean? And that's why, another reason why we're just now back up and streaming now, is because my Twitter is actually usable now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I can actually use my Twitter for my streaming stuff, so I can announce to you guys and be like, yo, you know, we're streaming now and stuff like that. But yeah, but my regular account on Twitter, like for my DJing and stuff like that, it literally, I've gotten so many DMCA strikes on it in like the past freaking like month, more than I've gotten in like the entirety of having my fucking Twitter. It's crazy, dude.
Ever crop up when I'm not uploading. I mean,
oh, sorry, I know I keep pausing the video, but I'm touching on what he's talking about. And like the other thing about it is he's talking about he got DMCA strike for a video from 2019 all the DMCAs that I've been getting on Twitter are from like memes I posted years and years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like most of the time I think like it's like why now I don't really post like memes organically to my Twitter. I just repost like I'll just repost a tweet or something like that, because it's like if I repost a tweet, it's like it's not really me posting. But if I just post a tweet and say like there's like a copyright on it, then like it'll hit my account for it, and that just is ridiculous.
I'm not on YouTube like 9 months out of the year. Nothing ever happens until I come back and I start uploading again, and I'm getting my numbers. They're climbing. They're exploding. I'm #1 trending. And then they're like, hey, we need to stop him. We need to, like, this black man, he's getting too many views. He's getting too much exposure, too much activity. Hold that thought. Let's get back to the current situation. So my YouTube rep assures me he's going to continue this dialogue with the policy team and try to get some answers to those 3 questions that I had. So another day, another 2 days go by, and what do you know? They re-age restricted the
God
video.
dang.
They re-age restricted the video.
What the fuck?
No way.
What does that even mean? Like, what the fuck?
I go to Markiplier's video now, and now his video is age restricted.
So they did. So they did literally do what they did with Charlie's video. But they like just honestly, whenever a company makes a decision and then immediately doubles back, it already looks bad enough. But for them to make a decision, double back, then redouble back, and I guess double, triple, quadruple back, it's just like, bro, you guys don't even understand your own policy. That's literally what it's saying. It's that you don't understand your own policy. And it's like, how do you expect creators and the content creators to follow the policy that you don't even understand how to implement correctly?
Caught with their pants down. They got called out, and then they had to go back and say, oh, whoa, okay, we see the narrative that he's kind of pushing here. We need to take some steps back. We need to just age restrict them both and be done with it.
Literally.
You thought that I wasn't gonna like talk about this, make a video about it? You realize how bad this looks for you.
Horrible, dude. Horrible.
You realize how unfair this comes across.
Yeah, horrible, dude.
In all my years, have never seen a video get age restricted, de-age restricted, and then age restricted again. Have any of you ever seen that happen before?
No.
They saw that I saw that there was some unfair stuff going on, so then they tried to appease me by de-age restricting the video. I say,
and that's also another thing. It's like, yeah, like he's talking about, like he's saying, like they just tried to make him essentially tell him, like get him to shut up about the about the favoritism by de-age restricting his video. But it's like, one, like he said before, he doesn't. It's not like we care about Markiplier is like an angel child or whatever. It's just like, just be fair across the board, you know. And he said that, like he said, Markiplier is a good example because he's a non-black content creator who's a huge content creator, just like KoryxKenshin. Because like literally, like KoryxKenshin has 15 million subscribers, bro. That is a giant channel. That is a massive channel. And for like a massive channel like this, who probably brings YouTube so much money, because YouTube loves their massive channels. That's why they give big channels partner reps. You know what I mean? Because it's like, these are the lifeblood of YouTube. Back in the day, like back when YouTube Rewind and they were really trying to push to put celebrities on YouTube. You guys remember that with like Will Smith and shit like that? That does not work, bro. It will not work on YouTube because YouTube is a space created by creators for people who enjoy the content. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't care. There's only a very few content or celebrities who have transitioned over to good content creators. T-Pain definitely being one of them.
Wait, why are you doing that? Because I sent Markiplier's clip. Yeah. And then they say, oh, okay, well, let's just age restrict them both. Yeah. Why is my channel so much more heavily scrutinized than my peers? My peers, and when I say peers, I mean people around my level, around my view count, just to keep it simple. Why is my channel so much more thoroughly scrutinized? Especially so when I've been #1 trending multiple days in a row, which I've done multiple times. And every single time I start to get an uptick in traction, an uptick in activity, here comes YouTube coming through. Hey, let's get him for that video from 2019. Yeah, you see this, Corey? No, this is bad. Yeah. It wasn't bad the 9 months that I was off the platform.
Literally.
It was only bad when I got back and I was #1 trending.
That shit's so
This
sad, bro.
situation was only
Oh, hold on.
bad.
We got a message over here in TikTok. YouTube seems to only work for those who already have a platform. Honestly, even that statement nowadays isn't 100% true because KoryxKenshin, like we're watching right now, he's literally a 15 million subscriber channel, and if I feel like that's a person with definitely a big ass platform, and for him to have issues with the YouTube like people, I don't know. But anyway, Shadow the Hedgehog, come hang out with us over at twitch.tv. Kyng Copium, come hang out with us, man. Come check out the video with us.
Because I've been #1 trending since I got back.
Yeah.
Every other YouTuber has uploaded the Mortuary Assistant. And now they're about to start putting in some age restrictions because I called them out on some unfair behavior. Now I realize that when you call someone a racist, that's a very, very serious accusation.
Very serious
and for
accusation,
that matter,
yeah.
how do you expressly prove that someone is a racist? I mean, unless they're spamming the N-word in the chat.
Literally.
How do you really know?
Unfortunately,
And
we can't look
admittedly,
at
I cannot
YouTube's
100%
chat logs.
prove that race had everything to do with this. But I can tell you the people on that policy team, those shadow people that are anonymous, and
that is another thing, is like we literally have no idea who's on the review team. You know what I mean? Like those people who are manual reviewers, we have no idea who those people are, you know? Like back a couple of years ago, whenever Twitch, like you guys know like the Deer Girl meme, right? That all started because Twitch was like, hey, we're gonna make a council of people who are going to be able to help us moderate the platform better, because the people who are moderating the platform are going to also be creators, right? That was supposed to help us, it was supposed to help Twitch moderate the platform better, right? Obviously that didn't work, but at least they were trying to like fix an issue that we have right now, like in YouTube, where these people who are moderating us literally could just be robots. They could just be robots, just like literally, because it's like, you get hit by like an automated DMCA, or you get hit by an automated like TOS, right? You appeal that TOS, it goes back into review, but there's no way for us to know if whenever we put it back into review, if it doesn't just go to another robot, dude. You know what I mean? There's literally no way for us to know. YouTube could say it, and they could be like, oh yeah, we have real human beings, you know what I'm saying? But we really don't know, because like high key, YouTube is such a huge company that literally both of them could just be robots, and they could just be saying that just to make us feel better.
Enact their will however they see fit. How can we be sure that they take a black person's video and a white person's video, and it can be the same exact video?
Yeah.
And they restrict the black person's video, but not the white person's video. I feel I've been mistreated for a long time. I mean,
that's so sad, man.
We hit 10 million subscribers, and I
was
supposed to get my diamond plate.
To think that like you hit such a great milestone, right? You hit such an amazing milestone as a YouTuber. Literally 10 million subscribers, bro. Like if my channel ever gets that big, man, I first of all would be crazy thankful. But this video will always be in the back of my mind, remembering that like even at 10 million subscribers, bro, you still have to think about the possibility of like fucking favoritism and racism on a platform online. You know what I mean? It's like no matter what, that's the thing about like people are always talking about like, oh, black people are the victim card, or black people, we play the slavery card. It's like, bro, you gotta think about it, man. People do not understand, even some other people, like people of color, don't understand how much being black is tied to being African American, right? I watched this TikTok the other day, and it was talking about other black people from around the world, you know, because we have like our African, like we have our Afro Latinas and other black people from around the world, because there's not just black people in America. I mean, even talking about like Jamaica and in Africa and stuff like that, right? It's like you have South Africa, you have North Africa. There are different colored people in Africa. They're not all just black people, right? But it's the thing, the difference is the person, the TikTok I saw, they were like, oh, you know, black people in America think that they're the only black people. They think they're the real black people, right? But honestly, other people from other countries, even like England, even black people from like England and stuff like that, right? you guys are just English, like where you have a culture outside of being black, right? So it's like if you're Brazilian, you're black, but you're also Brazilian. So it's like you have a whole Brazilian culture outside of being a black person, right? But in America, as an African American person, our whole culture is just being black. Everything about us is just being black. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? We create black culture. We create the movement. Our culture has been used the same way that they used us during slavery. You know what I'm saying? Obviously at a lesser degree, but honestly, they're still profiting off of it. You know what I mean? They just use black culture, for example, like whenever they do the Disney star rotation, right? Like people like Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, stuff like that, right? Whenever they have like their cool phase, they're always super urban. You know what I'm saying? They have the urban phase and blah, 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 blah. But then once that starts taking off, they start making a lot of money. They shed that urban phase. So they shed the black culture that they were using. And then they go back to that suburban, like, quote unquote Caucasian aesthetic, So it's like, it's just crazy, man. Like, so whenever people say that, like, people in America, like black people in America say that we're the only black people, like, I don't think that. I don't think as a black person in America, I don't feel that way. I just feel that black people in other countries have other things to identify with outside of being black, because even America, the country that I'm in, the culture is rooted in hating me. You know what I mean? So it's like, even if I wanted to be a part of the culture outside of being black, like you can in Brazil, like you can in England, and I'm not saying that England's perfect, because other places have had slavery as well, but I will say that whenever you have cultures outside of being black, it's a lot different than when your only culture and all of your culture revolves around just being black.
Play button and when there was no correspondence.
It's sad. It really is sad.
These situations always coincide with an uptick of growth, and it always just comes off like we can't let this black guy get too high up.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm telling you, that's how it comes off. I don't see any other YouTuber that gets #1 trending many times, and then all of a sudden they're getting age restricted and they're getting copyright strikes and all of that.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Point them out. I want to see them. I'll retract this entire video. I'll make a public apology to YouTube. I have no problem. My dad taught me, if you make a mistake, be a man and address it and apologize.
Exactly.
I will do that, no problem. But to me, you know what it comes off? It comes off whenever KoryxKenshin starts doing some crazy numbers or getting on trending too much. We got to find something.
Yeah.
We got to get him for something.
That's fucked up.
He's got to have done something. I mean, I bleep out cuss words in video games. Like,
y'all remember back in the day whenever like YouTube was like edgy, you know what I mean? It's like crazy to think about it now. It's like YouTube is so watered down compared to what it used to be. Obviously the internet in general is watered down compared to what it used to be, and in some regards that's really good, in my opinion. Some regards, really good. Like I said, I grew up with the early internet, being African American on the internet, for the most part, really, really good. But literally now, content creators have to think about it, They have to think about censoring themselves to make an income on YouTube. You know what I mean? Which you could say, oh, it's the job they chose, but it's still wild to think that even though you can censor, because censoring myself on curse words, not really a big deal, to tell you the truth. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, whenever I just be cursing, I don't even say the word, I just be like, I almost censor myself in real life just because I think it's kind of like ironically funny. But you already have to censor yourself that way, you know what I'm saying? So think about having to censor yourself of like your race, as well as censoring yourself already to the extent that we have to censor ourselves online, It's just crazy, bro.
This is the YouTuber that you want to.
Yo, what's up, you guys? What's up, TikTok? Hey, if you guys are enjoying the stream on here, make sure you guys come check out, hang out with us on Twitch, Kyng Copium on Twitch. We're live right now. We're actually watching the video about KoryxKenshin, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'm sure you guys have seen TikToks talking about it, but I wanted to look into it for myself and kind of talk to chat about it as well. So come hang out with me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Kyng Copium.
To have smoke with and have problems with. I believe there is some racism involved within the policy team, and YouTube in general really doesn't care about black people like that.
I feel that.
They got their favorite creators. You know, log out of YouTube. Log out and go to YouTube. You'll see the people on the front page every single day. You'll see the favorites.
Yeah.
Count how many are black. Count how many are of people of color. So then what does YouTube try and do? They try and peddle YouTube black. They try and give us a spotlight. And
you know, it's like that corporate feel. You know, it's like that corporate feel. It's like, you know, when it's Pride Month and all the fucking corporate, you know, companies put the rainbows on their icon. You know what I mean? They make their icon rainbow, right? It's like Black History Month. They make their icons and they post about how much we appreciate Black history and stuff like that. But as soon as those months are over, it's just like flip of the switch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we got enough. It's like Valentine's Day, for example, right? So Valentine's Day is a day that most people use to really go all out for their significant other. But I believe that Valentine's Day shouldn't just be the only day you do that. You know what I'm saying? You should be doing that for your significant other all the time, you know? It's the same way when it comes to Black history. The same way when it comes to respecting African American people. Same when it comes to respecting the LGBT plus community. It shouldn't just be 1 month. It should be all the time. You know what I mean?
you know how condescending and patronizing that is? Oh, yeah, let's give a spotlight to these black creators because we're all about diversity. All this communicates is black people aren't good enough on their own skill, on their own merits, on their own talent. So we got to give them a spotlight. We got to come down and raise them up. So
yeah, literally, it's like the white savior complex, you know? It's like, oh, black people, yeah, they can't really make content good enough to hit #1 by themselves. So us as YouTubers, we got to lift that shit up. But it's like, really, what black spotlights are on YouTube is just being like YouTube for a second, making everyone fair. You know what I'm saying? It's not like black people want to be better. We don't want to be better than anyone else. We don't want to be more superior to anyone else. It's just we want to be equal with everyone else. That's literally it, dude. Like that's literally the whole issue. You know, people think like, oh, black power, black power, black power. But it's like black power is to say that because we're down here. You know what I'm saying? For other people, when they say power, they want to be up here. This is the normal, right? This is the middle, right? This is where black people feel we are in society, right? So when we say black power, we want to be equal. We're not saying that we want to be more. But when other people say power, they're already equal. So that means that they want to be more. And that's like a major, major difference that people seem not to understand.
They can get some spotlight action. Well, how about you save all that YouTube black, all that fake patronage, all that fake pandering that you guys do. And when you have a black creator coming to you repeatedly saying, why am I being treated differently than other creators? And then you come back and, oh, we got to age restricted. And then, oh, no, we got to
flip-flop is what gets me, man.
He's on to us. Okay, we got to age restrict them both. Fake! It's fake. That's what it is. I am
the flip-flop is what gets me, man.
Deeply sorry that this came off as a rant. You know, in the beginning, I wanted to keep my emotions out of it. I wanted to stay logical, stay on the things that I could prove. I gave you the facts, but it also turned into me venting the emotions that I've had built up around YouTube. Ironic that I have to upload this on YouTube, but where else am I gonna upload?
Yeah, literally though. That's the funniest part. And the funniest part is that it literally was like #1 trending. Like he was just talking about how he's #1 trending, and then like they do some bullshit. But it's like he was literally #1 trending on this video talking about how YouTube is doing some absolute diabolical stuff
to do. And I would have just hoped that the playing field was fair.
Yeah.
That, hey, if I did something bad, then everybody else who also did that thing should get punished too. Is that unreasonable?
Exactly. Like I was saying before, it's not about being higher than someone else. It's not about black people wanting to be better. It's about black people wanting to be equal, and that's literally it.
Problem being punished. I have no problem if I break a rule that I get punished for it and I learn. But when you start when it's targeted, when you're doing things
Yeah,
Only
exactly.
because I'm like getting bigger, or I don't know how it always seems to coincide with that situation. But that's just what it is. Now, if my
Exactly.
YouTube channel gets shadow banned, or they like, they start like not sending my videos out to my subscribers, or a couple months from now, y'all just stop seeing my videos. We know why.
Literally,
We know
yo.
why. I
And
mean,
honestly, it's like at this point, just from him saying that, I feel like YouTube's kind of at. Honestly, YouTube may have made this #1 trending on themselves. To tell you the truth, because YouTube shadow banning KoryxKenshin, or really just messing with his channel at all right now, would be the worst decision that they could have made. That they could make. It
those
would really just
shadows
prove what he's
behind the
talking about.
scenes,
You
they
know what I mean?
control it all. They control all of it. If they don't want my channel, they could terminate it right now.
True.
They could hide my videos. They could shadow ban me, not send my videos out to anybody. That's why I thought long and hard before I recorded this. But
yeah, because this is a risky video for him to record and put
as
out.
one of the biggest black creators on the platform, I want you to hear it from my mouth
Yeah.
that there is some shady business going on behind the scenes at YouTube.
Shit.
Interior, especially for legs that
What the fuck? Why autoplay to his Mercedes-Benz video? But yeah, that shit is real as fuck. That shit is real as fuck, dude. Like I said, that was such a risky video for KoryxKenshin to publish. But what I will say is that now, being like 4 or 5 days after the video is published, we know that this video is #1 on trending, and we know that this kind of started a movement. I mean, it really did start a movement. Not kind of, like it really did start a movement. Because I've been seeing videos on TikTok, I've been seeing videos on Twitter, I've been seeing videos everywhere talking about this this title. And we're about to watch a video by Charlie, Penguin Zero, talking about the video that we just watched. Charlie always has amazing takes, and like I said before, I really wanted to watch this video because not only does Charlie always have amazing takes, he's also a humongous YouTuber as well, with 10, almost 11 million subs right now, 11.3 million subs at the time of recording this video. And on top of that, he had a very similar thing happen to him outside, and obviously, Charlie isn't black, you know what I'm saying? At least that I don't know of, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is Charlie doesn't appear to be black. So it's like he's a large content creator who dealt with the same issue, not the same issue, but a very similar issue as Cory. So it's like, oh, well, that's not racist, but it's still favoritism. It's still heavy favoritism. And if there's favoritism, honestly, racism is not very far off. They normally follow pretty closely together. So let's go ahead and jump into this video by Charlie, aka Penguin Zero. It's called Big Problems at YouTube. We're gonna watch this, and then I think we're gonna watch the Gideon video talking about Twitch's
Yesterday,
favoritism.
a very popular YouTuber named KoryxKenshin posted an absolute bombshell of a video accusing YouTube of some awful things and explained the whole situation that led to the claims, and he does not hold back. The gloves were off and the chef's hat was on because he just started cooking their ass. Now, of course, it's not unusual for a YouTuber to make a video criticizing the platform. It happens every day because YouTube is a company that very, very rarely gets anything right. So it's constantly catching more shit than a Walmart toilet, and rightfully so. But even with hourly uploads of everything wrong with YouTube, the problems that KoryxKenshin highlights are some that I haven't ever really even seen discussed before. The video's titled YouTube Racism and Favoritism.
Okay, so look, this is 3.8, right? And this was a day ago. It was released on the 24th, right? So this is the 25th. So 5 days. So it went up 3 million views in 5 days from the time of him uploading. Because when we watched it, it was at like almost 6 million views.
And it was actually the #1 trending video all day yesterday, and right now it's the #2, which means this is the front page of YouTube. This is the #1 video on YouTube, so I bet they're thrilled about that. KoryxKenshin has over 14 million subscribers, so this is a video that carries a lot of weight.
You guys either play favorites, you are racist, or it's a mix of the two. These are the 3 options, YouTube.
It's a pretty aggressive intro, but he is rightfully upset about unfair treatment he's been experiencing.
100%.
So
100%.
after going through what he's gone through, he believes that there's only really 3 possible conclusions to draw from it, where it's either YouTube policy team playing favorites, members of the policy team being racist, or some combination of the two. Now, before getting into the specifics of the situation, I'd like to say I think most people have been aware of favoritism on YouTube for quite a while.
That's what we were talking about
earlier.
Earlier.
It's not exactly like the Krabby
It's
Patty
not very
cereal
new.
formula.
Like
It's
people
not
know
hush
there's a lot of
hush.
favoritism
I think
on YouTube.
everyone
for sure.
has recognized that there is some level of favoritism on the platform. I mean, there's even that viral video from a few years ago where the CEO of YouTube said to Juice WRLD that they need to pump his numbers up, which indicates artificial growth. It means that they have at least some capability of boosting channels, whether that's through the algorithm.
Because, like, okay, so people talk about streamers like gambling, right? You talk about streamers gambling because it's like, oh, you're gonna get your audience addicted to gambling on a website that is controlled by a company who can fiddle with the odds. You know what I'm saying? Who can literally fiddle with the odds. They're literally the puppet masters, right? But the same applies with YouTube as well, because like he was talking about Juice WRLD getting his numbers almost literally artificially inflated by YouTube. The same way that they can pump someone up on this platform, they can most definitely shut somebody down on this platform.
And pushing it to more people, or just inflating it themselves for channels they deem worthwhile and good for business. And the inverse is likely true, where they can hide channels they think are problematic and bad for business.
Exactly.
So favoritism is something that people have been loosely aware of for a long time. And also when it comes to, you know, mainstream media sources, like late night show hosts have much more leeway than an average YouTuber. They can.
Oh my gosh, you guys remember whenever like Conan and all them came to YouTube for the first time, and it was like literally the fucking Conan takeover on YouTube, dude. I feel like every other recommended video was a fucking Conan video, and it's like whenever KoryxKenshin was speaking on earlier about how whenever you log off YouTube and you see the real YouTube, like that is what you would see on the front page. You would see fucking you would see like the Conan show and all these late night talk show hosts, right? These late night talk shows that literally fucking like were taking over YouTube at the time. It was definitely during that YouTube pushing celebrities to come onto YouTube era, and I'm so glad that shit's over like an NFT, bro.
Say and do a lot of things that get normal YouTubers demonetized,
or at least not to the
or
extent
age
anymore.
restricted,
I go and say it's
or
over.
straight up striked. And that doesn't apply to the big boys in the scene.
Yeah.
So favoritism is something I think most people know exists on YouTube. That's not like a conspiracy theory. However, the claims that Cory is about to make against the YouTube policy team in regards to racism are pretty interesting.
August 18th.
Now, I'm going to skip this part because we know about all this. We just watched this video. So we're going to skip to the part where Charlie's talking again.
Look into this. Appeal rejected.
This isn't the whole situation, it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
I already want to talk about something in particular, though. The appeal system. Cory mentions that after appealing, he was denied, rejected pretty quickly. That's the norm. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've ever even heard about an appeal being overturned.
Exactly.
That just never happens. The only...
Exactly, because like, okay, so for, like, there's like two reasons you're sending an appeal, right? Like, first reason you're sending an appeal is because you got a DMCA. That's one reason. Second reason is because it's like TOS, right? So if you get a DMCA, just like I was telling you guys earlier about my Twitter getting locked like twice in the past couple months, if you get a DMCA like strike, essentially, or like a DMCA claim, the only way you can contest that is by sending like the people who DMCA'd you a notice being like, hey, I think you're wrong. It's like me being like, hey, you're using my song in this video, and then instead of it's like I tell YouTube you're using my song in this video, right? YouTube strikes you because of it. They say, hey, you can dispute this strike, and you say, okay, let me send a dispute for the strike. Instead of the dispute going to YouTube to then double review on both sides, the YouTube sends the strike straight to the person, or I guess me in this situation, who said, yo, this is my song, right? So if I say, hey, you're using my song in this video, and you dispute it, and you come back and say, hey, I don't think it's your song, what do you think I'm going to say? You think I'm going to say, oh, yeah, you're right, my bad. Might be, especially since me copyright striking a video, or DMCA striking a video, allows me to funnel the revenue from that video if you keep it up. So, one, you're losing out on views if you delete it. Two, you're losing out on all the revenue if you keep it. So, obviously, me as the person who's claiming the videos, and this is why we have a lot of problems with false copyright strikes or very loose copyright strikes, is gonna say no. I'm gonna say, duh, yeah, it's my song, dude. Give me my money. You know what I'm saying? AK, give me my money, you know? And the reason that is because these websites like YouTube, these websites like Twitch, are scared of lawsuits, and that's literally what it boils down to. It's these big websites who are terrified, absolutely terrified, of getting lawsuits from record companies and stuff like that, because they'll threaten them with lawsuits and be like, hey, if you don't leave, that's why all the what's it called, all the responsibility is on the creator. Because if YouTube try to fight for us or back us up on that stuff, they would face a lot of lawsuits. And that's because, at least in America, our copyright laws are so archaic, man. Our copyright laws in America are so archaic. It's embarrassing.
Anytime an appeal doesn't lead to rejection is when you make a trending hashtag about it on Twitter. You make a big hoopla on Twitter, and then YouTube will go to your appeal and you know, make it in your favor. But if you don't do that, if you don't stir up a shitstorm and start throwing sand in YouTube's face on Twitter,
or if you don't have the audience for it either, because you gotta think about it like that. Like I said, like I was speaking on earlier. So like, say something like that happened to me, like as I'm growing as a content creator on YouTube, as I'm growing as a content creator on Twitch, because I do reaction videos. You know what I'm saying? I do reaction videos on my channel, and I upload those reactions to YouTube, right? So it's like, say that something like that happened to me, I have no content, or have no contact to YouTube or whatever platform that happens to me on, and 2, I don't even have a large following on Twitter. So I could make a hashtag and be like, yo, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and I could maybe never even get a response, because you know, sometimes, yeah, little hashtags turn into huge hashtags, like with artisan builds or whatever. But for the most type, it's like, you put a hashtag, bro, like, you're not gonna get anything, you know?
Twitter, they won't bother.
It's crazy.
Very confident that there is no human being in the review process for appeals. In fact, I would wager my anal virginity that there is no human being that looks at appeals.
Absolutely,
and if I'm wrong,
dude.
Then I fully invite the YouTube
and this is what we were saying. This is literally what we were saying. This is literally what we were saying. Because there is no way for you to know if, whenever you make an appeal, if it goes to an actual human being or if it just goes to another robot. And that's the thing, is like, if you make an appeal and it just goes back to the same robot, essentially, who gave you the strike or issued the toss to begin with, what's the point, dude? It's just like making the content creator feel better fakely. You know what I'm saying? Unmute Discord. Okay, hold on 1 second. Yo, what's up?
Yo, do you want to play what's that one random fucking shooter game that we were playing the other day with the fucking mages Realm Royale with us?
Not right now. I'm talking about some content on Twitch. We're talking about this the situation with KoryxKenshin and stuff like that. But afterwards, I'll probably jump on with you guys.
Oh my god, dude.
Bro, this is important, bro. We're black content creators, but this is important.
No, it's okay. It's okay. If you're just not getting into it, I've already seen it.
Well, yeah, I've already talked. I mean, I've already know that it's like behind, but I wanted to talk about it myself. Like, you know what I mean? Even if it's like super trending.
Week.
Yeah, literally. No, you're right though. But like,
have you heard about it, Michael?
I think so. I think I was on your stream when you were talking about it not too long ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to speak on it myself because I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. It's like, it's not really the fact that it's trending or whatever right now. It's more just like, it's something I wanted to speak on. It's something that I've had in my watch later for like, 5 days now. So I just wanted to talk about it on stream. But yeah, afterwards I'll let you guys know, because I think I'm gonna watch this video and maybe one more, and then play some video games for a little bit before I go back to reaction.
All right, yeah, let's do this.
All right. But yeah, like I was saying, like, it's not really about trending or whatever for me. Talking about this video is more just because it's like an important thing for black creators. And heck, you never know, like me talking about it right now could be seen by somebody who hasn't seen it yet, so
I am so fucking confident that there is no human being that looks at those appeals, because they almost always end in rejection and standing with the initial decision, even when it's blatantly wrong. The algorithm makes mistakes. Yeah. But the appeal is supposed to bring a human being into the equation to look at it, investigate the case, and decide whether or not it was an algorithmic error or a correct enforcement. And there are times where it was just outright incorrect, just outright wrong, and they will still stand with that decision.
Absolutely.
So I just don't think
the appeal system
works.
And like we just saw,
drastic overhaul.
Like we just saw with the KoryxKenshin video, not only would they stick with that, but they'll double, triple down on the wrong decision.
ASAP.
Only my video got age restricted. My YouTube rep, who isn't on the policy team, he looked at my video and he said,
But I feel like this is really just Charlie kind of doing what we did, right? This is kind of just Charlie talking about the video. But I wanted to see if Charlie was gonna talk about. Hold on, I wanted to see if Charlie was gonna talk about the DMCA strike that he got. Okay, here it is. I think so.
Angry. I was wiggling in rage. I was same clip that I was talking about in one of Markiplier's videos.
Yes, this is exactly what we're
rage
talking.
Incident. And there has to be something else at play for why they demonetized Cory and not Mark. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you might remember I went through an almost identical situation.
This is what I was talking about earlier.
I made a video on a fake road rage incident and got an entire strike for it.
Yeah, and he got a channel strike for that shit.
Policy guidelines strike from
That's
YouTube
crazy.
And
if you guys don't know already, like 3 strikes on YouTube, and they literally can delete your whole channel. Just like boom, gone. Like just then they'll snap your channel with 3 strikes. So like getting a single strike is insane, right? It's like a massive thing for like YouTubers, right? So the fact that they got him a channel strike for that video and not just like an age restriction was like insane.
And I found that exact same clip that I was talking about in one of Markiplier's videos.
Yeah.
That wasn't age restricted, demonetized, or anything. I was so angry. I was wiggling in rage. I was so upset. I couldn't sit still in my chair.
Dude,
so I made this
Charlie's
video talking about it. And then I made a big stink on Twitter. And Markiplier actually came to my rescue like a fucking hero of justice, a symbol like Batman. He came in and said, "Fair is fair. Where is my strike, YouTube?" And YouTube responded not by getting rid of my strike, but by striking Markiplier's video as well. So now both of us ended up with a strike. And Markiplier made a video talking about that, and eventually YouTube decided to rescind both strikes, saying that it was an.
And honestly, it's like as Markiplier, right? He just gets set up to look like the hero regardless, right? Because it's like Markiplier is in a space obviously where he makes so much freaking money that he doesn't care that like a video gets demonetized or something like that. So right, so as long as he doesn't get like a content strike or whatever. So it's like for Markiplier, whenever these people compare his videos to theirs, like, oh yo, you gave a strike to me but not Markiplier. Markiplier it then has the opportunity to look completely like the hero by just being like taking one for the team, you know what I mean? Which is insane.
Overreaction
to
things,
but I mean,
and it was a mistake on their part. But obviously you can see the problem here. They're not enforcing their rules equally across the platform.
Yeah.
And they're just not enforcing them properly at all. There was no reason that video should have ever resulted in a strike by any stretch of imagination.
Not at all, yeah.
I can understand the algorithm having a bit of a oopsie, a little boo-boo there, and mistaking a fake comical road rage for a real incident. But the appeal process is supposed to come in there where a human being looks at it and within 3 seconds should be like, oh, this is clearly
wrong.
a joke.
Yeah.
But that never happened because I don't believe humans actually review.
That's because like robots can't understand context. I mean, honestly, fuck, some humans can't even understand context nowadays. Because I feel like a lot of the times whenever we get videos online, like we get videos on TikTok, we get videos on Twitter, that's the one thing that we're really missing is context. We're missing the context because it's like you see a video of a lady screaming at somebody in the middle of the street, right? But you don't know what happened before that video. All we can dictate and all that people want to really care about is like what's happening in the video they're watching, you know what I mean?
View the content. I'm getting sidetracked. Point is, the rules aren't enforced appropriately or equally.
Yeah.
So kind of similar situation, but not exactly the same as what Cory's been going through with YouTube here. However, I do find it interesting that Markiplier is present in both of these cases. I feel so bad for Markiplier. He's done nothing wrong.
Exactly.
He just keeps getting dragged into these disputes here with YouTube.
So I sent the video to my YouTube.
It's just that Markiplier is, like Cory said, he is the perfect, like, not sample size, but like the perfect comparison. You know what I mean? Especially for like these bigger content creators. Obviously, I couldn't compare myself to like Markiplier or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But someone like KoryxKenshin can because he has 10+ million subscribers. So like that's what I'm saying. That's really what I wanted to touch on this video because I wanted to see if Charlie was going to talk about the same incident that he had that I was speaking on earlier. Also, most just to make sure that I wasn't going crazy thinking that happened. But yeah, that's really what I want to speak on this because it's like favoritism on the platform is never a good thing. You know what I mean? It's like, especially to this extent, like favoritism and racism is like it doesn't make fucking sense. You know what I mean? And like I said before, whenever you have a system, right? You have a system where content creators believe that if I get copyright strike, if I get fucking something wrong, like a toss violation on my channel, right? They have some type of faith that they can change it, can make things right. So if you, as YouTube, are giving content creators the false hope that whenever there's something wrong is done to them, that they can make things right, it's like, it's worse than just not having it, you know? It's like as if like people in Gotham were like, oh, I know if I get jumped in the middle of a street, Batman is probably like, there's like a 80% chance Batman is gonna drop down on there, right? But it's like, if you get jumped in the street, Batman drops down on there, and then Batman starts beating you up. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's not what was promised or what I expected from a vigilante. You know what I mean? So it's the same way with YouTube. It's like they're telling these content creators almost to like pacify us and to like keep us in like an okay state, because realistically, not a lot of people, there's not been a lot of competition for YouTube. You know what I'm saying? There's not been a lot of competition for the platform. It's a very monopolizing platform when it comes to video uploading and video sharing, because obviously we have TikTok and stuff like that, but it's very monopolizing, because it's like he said, even Corey was making this video on how much TikTok, or not TikTok, but how much YouTube showed favorism. But he was like, where else am I gonna upload it? You know, Venmo, well, not Venmo, but what's it, Venme, or what's the other platform? I don't even know the name of it, because it's like a platform I've only used maybe once or twice in my life, you know? So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about the real favoritism and stuff like that that's going on YouTube, and it's just bad, you know? It's just bad, and it's something I hope really gets fixed, and like YouTube can maybe like take a look at it and be like, hey, like, yo, this is like a real problem on our platform, you know what I mean?